back to another exciting episode of Drawing Face. Hopefully you've got a little bit of practice in from what we did last week. This week we'll be continuing on, but I thought I might just pop in a little time lapse of me doing a little watercolour face, just to, just not do all just drawing all the time, and show you how it all comes together. And also, one of the early questions that I received with this was, what skin tones do I use when I'm painting? So I thought I would add that in. I know it's skipping ahead a bit, but it is a little bit difficult sometimes just to do things step by step and not see what your end goal is and what you're able to do. I'll also do individual features the rest of the face and pull that together, so the proportions and the positions of nose and mouth. I do better than I speak, so let's just get into it. So remember our egg shape that we did, where it was wider at the top, narrower at the bottom. What I want you to do, just with that shape, now that you're sort of familiar with it, is to, you can measure it if you have to, but just by eye if you can, just sort of halve it, halfway between the top and the bottom. Then the bottom half, I want you to go half again. So that distance there, again, you measure it if you have to. Then that last part, I want you to go half again, pretty much. Now, if we draw a line down the center of the egg, and already, hopefully you can see what I'm going for. We have, remember, an eye between. So there's kind of like an eye there. I'm not going to do too much on the eyebrows right now, because I want to talk about these lines. So the eyes are about halfway, the bottom of the eyes. Now with this is about where the end of the nose is. So what we need to do is we need to line up the nose with the eyebrows, or around the close, just outside the edge of the eyes. So that's where our nostrils are going to be. This next part is going to help a lot. So when you draw a line from your eye through the nostril, the eye past the nostril, you should get something that lines up with the mouth. So here we have the center of the lips, and just now, normally for me, I go on the inside of the coloured part, not the pupil, but this is varied. So people have wide mouths, people have narrow mouths. So what you can do is what suits you, what you like. I pretty much go on the inside here, and straight down there is the corner of my mouth. Now we can work with this outside cheekbone in, down to the chin. Cheekbone in, down to the chin. And the ears actually go from the eye down to the bottom of the nose. Then you've got hair and the neck, which we'll get to when we go a bit further along. So from the center, we're getting a triangle. And what we can also do is come up, and that gives us a really nice view of the eyebrow. But what it does show us is, if we extend this line, then that shows us where our eyebrows should pretty much end. Now, faces come in all shapes and sizes, so obviously this can all change. You can have very long chins, the mouth can be a little bit lower. What do I do more with the nose? Well, the nose is mostly shading, so I'll just put in a little indication like that. Again, the thing with the nose is trying to get it even. We've got two little lines in the skin, and usually that's like the widow's peak in the mouth. Again, you can see lots of good shading and lots of good demonstrations of faces online. I'm just giving you these tips and tricks, you know. One little thing I will say is when you draw a face like this front on, the thing that makes a huge difference is adding a shadow on the neck. Once you add that shadow on the neck, it is believable that the face is forward of the neck and the neck's behind. Remember what we did with the shadow on the eyes? The brain goes, aha, that's behind. That's why you can put shadow around the base. You can put shadow under the lip. You can put shadow under the brow bone. You know, all these places where shadow looks good because it's giving the brain information. Oh, yeah, I know that's behind. So what we want to do is come down from the eyebrows, remembering that nice line. We're just going to put something really basic, again, down on the side. Something really basic as well, nothing too much. Now, what we can do from that, again, we know coming down the centre is going to be the mouth. Remember, anywhere from the cornea, the pupil to the edge of the iris. So I kind of go a little bit in from the edge. There. I've got my mouth marks, and then it's a matter of staying straight for a while. Again, there are a lot of really good lessons on specifically on the mouth that you will be able to look at online. Everyone has their own certain way of doing things with the mouth. I like this line to come down a little bit and then dip up. Makes the mouth look a bit happy. No RBF. And just to make this a little bit better on here, I will do a little bit of shading. So I'm going to put the light coming from over here, the light source, as I've got this a bit heavier already. So I'll make this a little bit heavier. I don't want lines, but it's fine to put some shading there because you do want to indicate that that's coming out forward of the face. So it is sort of casting a shadow, etc. Mouth. Of course, this side is going to be darker than this side, and along the bottom of the bottom lip, and even under the bottom lip, and of course the center line, because the top lip is angling down. I like to put a few lines that way as well, and a little bit of shading into this corner. So now I'm going to hit this with the paintbrush. Don't be concerned about marks that you don't like when you do them. That happens to me like 90% of the time. Like, I don't like that, but it's okay. It's a work in progress. This is a practice. So for me, practice, anything goes. You know, if you make a mistake, well, that's a good practice because you've learned a lot, and possibly a lot more than you would have learned if you hadn't done it wrong. I hope that's helped, and now, as promised, here is my sped up demonstration of using some watercolour on a face, and I hope you enjoy it. So that's it for this week. Please write some comments with questions that you may have or requests. I want to be guided by you, so if you have any suggestions at all, normal ones, well, I can do that. Okay, have a lovely week, and I'll see you next week. Let's be creative.